Hello and welcome to ASMR Radio. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that people comment on, and it's got me a little bit intrigued on whether there might be some type of science behind the theory. So the theory is the question is why do many people comment and say that ASMR tends to react more on their right side of the brain, or that would be your right side of the brain. And so I've been thinking about it, and on an unrelated instance, I had, while I was sort of looking at something else, I had this sort of idea that maybe, just maybe, that the reason why people comment that it's triggered more on their right side of their brain is that we have a right side and a left side of the brain. And the right side of the brain is something that is associated with creativity, intuition, and sort of like maybe like you might refer as like a spiritual side of things, where you may reflect or think on things a little bit more deeply. Whereas the left side of the brain is a little bit more analytical. It's designed for most basic learning, language, mathematical type information. There's a lot of our day-to-day processing that's done on the left side of the brain. And so I'm no expert, so please don't take whatever I say as fact. You should always sort of research for yourself any information. But I believe that there's a connection between the right side of the brain and the way that the sensory organs in our brain are connected, and that I think that there's a way that as we are hearing certain tones, and that's through our hearing senses, and then we will see something through our eyes and our sensory senses. And is it possible there's other senses in the right side of the brain that may have they may be receiving like a cascade effect of when you sort of sense something or see something and hear something? It could also be attributed to tone or vibration. I believe vibrations and frequencies are a very underutilized type of thing that can be beneficial. So ASMR kind of is a little bit tonal, vibration, I guess sensitive, and people will find certain things like that very, very relaxing. For me personally, like the Tibetan singing bowls, the sounds and the tones and the vibrations definitely have a very calming effect. And I think most people would agree that if you were to experience something like that in person, you would find it very calming and relaxing. But getting back to the right side of the brain, is it possible that the right side of the brain processes things a little bit differently? And is it like a mechanism that might be available to most people that will help them to experience ASMR? So I'm starting to think that maybe most people can experience it, but it's almost like, they're sort of thinking with their left side of the brain, trying to feel for it, but it's the right side of the brain that needs to receive it. Could that be part of immunity? Could that be the left side of the brain wanting to look for it, but can't quite experience it? Yet if you were just to relax and not look for it and just sort of just enjoy it. It's possible maybe the right side of the brain might allow it to sort of flourish. So I've tried to think about this, and I can't definitely say for myself personally that I'm more triggered on my right side. But I believe from the comments from you, my subscribers, that this is a common theme. And I'm just trying to put the thought out there just to explore it a little bit more. So that's my thought of the day today, is the left side and the right side of the brain contributing or part of the phenomenon that is ASMR? So the way the brain works is you've got two sides and it connects at the back. And I'm just wondering whether our sensory organs somehow perceive things differently. They'll hear things and they'll process things. And it's almost like that side of the brain sort of remembers something. It feels something, and it almost allows for a release of some type of feel-good tingles that might travel down part of your nervous system that, starts typically in the scalp and goes down the back and can go down to other parts of your body. And so that's something that I'm interested in. I'm kind of really interested to learn a little bit more about lots of things. But ASMR is something that is a day-to-day thought for me. So left side, right side brain. For my own personal experience, can't quite think of it. Or think of a moment where, yes, that sound over there did trigger me more. But I think that it does. I think that, as the sound's moving around, as it might move around and come over to, this is my right side, it may help to start that cascade going down. So I definitely know that there's different types of tingles. There's definitely different types of tingles that, sometimes are like a body tingle, sometimes are a head tingle, but there's different things like a role play may elicit a slightly different response. An unintentional moment of ASMR will trigger like a full response of it. Maybe like a massage of someone just lightly touching you might trigger a different type of tingle, but I do know that there are definitely different types of tingles. Hang on, I'm trying to bring back a memory, a thought of a time that I had an unintentional tingle. Most of these types of moments aren't really that important, but there was one time where I had a tingle where there was someone doing like what's it called? There's a lady I know, and she's a very, very special lady, and she specializes in a form of healing. It's kind of like, I think it's theta healing, but she has her own take on it, and she does things differently. And there's something about this lady that I have experienced in real life a number of times, that she is very, very effective at eliciting ASMR in me. And once she was doing something on another person, and watching her do it, I was experiencing ASMR. But she did something at a certain point in time which was critical in what she was doing to that person, and I felt the tingles in my brain move. It was a very strange experience. It was like I could feel it in one part, and I felt it go to a different part of my brain. And I've never ever experienced anything like that, but it was something that I won't forget in relation to ASMR. And I'm trying to remember which side of my brain was it? And the first thought that comes to mind was that it was my right side of the brain, that I felt this as I was experiencing tingles. I felt it move, go from one part of the brain to a different part of the brain. It was quite distinct and profound, and there was those little moments that are kind of special to me. But is it possible that this is also connected to the left side, right side brain? Is it possible that there's part of the right side of the brain, that intuition, possible sixth sense, that is more receptive to certain situations, that you find those little things that sort of tickle and trickle down, and starts that cascading effect of all of the tingles. So I'll leave you on that thought. Left side, right side brain. I'm sure that there's more people out there with more information out there, so have fun, good luck, and I look forward to my next videos.